All right, diving in. Today, we're heading to the south of France, and thanks to you, we've got a pretty impressive collection of sources to get us there. YouTube videos showing off all those regional dishes, and even a blog post calling out the must-try foods. I think our mission here is to really bottle up the essence of this sun-drenched culinary landscape, give our listeners a taste of Provence and beyond, you know?
Yeah, definitely a full menu of content here to explore. So we'll kick things off with a French Cooking Academy video. They'll walk us through how to make pissaladière, a classic flatbread from Nice. Then we'll shift gears a bit with Dave Kaufman Eats the World and see how the French Riviera tackles those familiar favorites like burgers and pizza. And of course, we can't talk Southern French food without diving into traditional ratatouille. We'll be using a DW food video for that.
And that's just for starters. Right. We've also got a blog post to pull from the south of France. Discover 7 best French dishes. Gives us a broader perspective on the region's culinary cornerstones. Plus, we'll sprinkle in some pro tips from French Cooking Academy to help everyone bring those amazing flavors into their own kitchens.
Yeah.
So, for our listeners who love getting to the heart of things quickly and appreciate those aha moments. We've narrowed it down to the most captivating details and surprising connections, all while keeping it clear and easy to digest. Ready to dig in.
Oh, absolutely. Let's set our sights on Nice and pissaladière to start. The French Cooking Academy video presents it as a real source of pride for the city, and it's kind of funny how they immediately call it a look-alike French pizza. That comparison makes you think, right? Like it's both familiar and uniquely French at the same time. What sets it apart?
I know what you mean. And one of the first things that pops out is the topping, right? You've got those caramelized onions, the salty black olives, and that punch of anchovies. And the host even mentions the Fonte vibes of the French Riviera being so close to the Italian border, that feeling of being hot and wonderfully lazy. It suggests that the dish really embodies that laid-back Mediterranean spirit. It's amazing how the feeling of a place can be so tied to the food. It's not just ingredients, it's a whole feeling on your plate.
And what's really unique here is the base itself. While the video mentions, the quick fix of using a pre-made pizza base, they obviously go for the traditional method. It's a pretty basic bread dough, made with simple ingredients like flour, water, milk, dry yeast, salt, and of course that essential olive oil. But here's where things get really interesting. The traditional base actually uses something called pizza, which is an ancient fish-based recipe. This isn't just some random ingredient, right? It speaks to a history of resourcefulness, and a deep connection to the sea. It's fundamental to Provençal identity, and it even predates modern pizza as we know it.
Pizza. Okay, let's break that down. The video recreates it with crushed anchovies, sardines, olive oil, and herbs. It sounds like a concentrated burst of Mediterranean flavor, The host describes it as having this fishy flavor foundation, almost like layering umami on top of umami before you even get to the anchovies on top.
Yeah.
This really highlights how foundational ingredients can carry centuries of culinary tradition within them.
Yeah, exactly. And if we zoom out a bit, it really emphasizes that long-standing reliance on seafood in this coastal region. And then the blog post we mentioned also picks up on this, right? They list pissaladière as one of the 7 iconic dishes of the south of France and specifically highlight those Mediterranean flavors. So it's clearly not just a local snack. It's a culinary symbol of Provence.
Mm-hmm.
They even mention how versions of pissaladière appear in Languedoc-Roussillon, described as mini pizzas topped with anchovy paste and onions, which shows its regional significance goes beyond just...
Nice. So the video goes into this delicious process of preparing the onions. They're using a whole kilo of thinly sliced onions, slowly cooking them in olive oil with aromatic thyme and what the host playfully calls professional herb, which is really just herb de Provence. And the key technique they emphasize here is to resist stirring them too much. Apparently that lets them caramelize beautifully without breaking down. That patience seems to be the key to unlocking all that natural sweetness. It's a good reminder that sometimes the most flavorful results come from a gentle, unhurried approach in the kitchen.
For sure. It's that slow caramelization where so much of that flavor complexity comes from. You're not just softening the onions, you're coaxing out those natural sugars, creating this deep sweet counterpoint to the saltiness of the anchovies and olives. And the assembly, as the video shows, is fairly simple. You spread the pizza, or you can go with extra anchovies if you prefer. Then you layer those beautiful, deeply brown onions, the briny olives, and finally the anchovies onto the prepared dough.
And they often serve it as an aperitif, a little pre-meal bite. The way the host describes the flavors, the sweetness of the onion, the crunch of the bread, and that intense fishy paste. It sounds like a truly unique and intriguing appetizer. It's a dish that really wakes up the palate.
It really does. It's a perfect example of how simple, high-quality ingredients treated with care and using those traditional methods can result in incredibly nuanced and satisfying flavors. Okay, switching gears a bit. Let's see how the south of France tackles some more globally loved comfort foods. The Dov Kaufman Eats the World video takes us on this interesting detour exploring the French Riviera's versions of that classic duo, cheeseburgers and pizza. What's immediately striking is how a region known for its refined cuisine also embraces these more casual dishes, but always with that distinct French touch. On the island of Santa Marguerite, we find this restaurant called Lonely's. They have what they call a monster burger.
And it certainly looks the part, right? A thick, juicy patty, melted cheddar cheese, but served on a fresh-baked French roll, which is a bit different from your usual sesame seed bun. And the homemade burger sauce sounds intriguing, described as like a French version of Thousand Island dressing or Big Mac sauce. And then, of course, mayonnaise served with the fries because, well, as the host playfully points out, that's the European way. The emphasis on the quality of the ingredients, especially the fresh cheese, is really noticeable. For our listeners, this highlights that French culinary ethos. Quality ingredients can elevate even the simplest of dishes.
It really drives home a consistent theme in French cooking. That unwavering commitment to high quality, fresh, and often locally sourced ingredients. Then the search for the best pizza leads us to mainland Cannes, to the Pizza Crécy. It's a family-run restaurant that's been baking pizzas in a brick oven for almost 70 years. That kind of longevity speaks volumes about the quality and consistency of their food.
Absolutely. And a pizza dough is described as being more like a flat baguette, which tells you right away it's going to have a different kind of chew and texture compared to a classic Neapolitan or New York style pizza. Probably a bit more crisp and airy.
Exactly. And instead of the usual pepperoni, the video focuses on a tarufata pizza. It has truffle cream, cheese, arugula, and a creamy Bada cheese.
Yeah.
Truffle cream on pizza. That's a definite French Riviera upgrade. The host even calls it an exceptional choice.
Mm-hmm.
For our listeners, this is a great example of how even familiar dishes get infused with those local and luxurious flavors.
It sounds incredibly decadent, and even their pepperoni pizza gets a French twist. They use thick-cut pepperoni and a variety of artisanal cheeses, all on that French bread-like crust.
Mm.
The host is really adamant about how the quality of the ingredients just elevates it above your average American or Canadian pepperoni pizza. It's a testament to the idea that familiar doesn't have to mean ordinary.
It really shows how even those comfort food staples get interpreted through that French culinary lens. They're not just copying international dishes.
Yeah.
They're giving them their own emphasis on quality and unique flavor combinations.
All right, let's get back to some of those essential Southern French dishes that the blog post highlights. Beyond the delightful pissaladière, they list 6 other iconic staples, starting with the vibrant ratatouille.
Ratatouille, that quintessential vegetable stew from Provence.
Yeah.
The blog lays out the classic ingredients, right? You've got sun-ripened tomatoes, tender zucchini, that silky eggplant, sweet onions, and colorful peppers, all gently simmered in fragrant olive oil with aromatic herbs like thyme and basil. And what's so great about it is its versatility. It's equally delicious served warm as a side dish or chilled as a refreshing appetizer. And the DW food video gives us a closer look at a traditional nice version.
Yeah, the nice version seems to have its own unique touches. They use trumpet zucchini, which is a type of courgette that's specific to Nice and a small part of Italy. Apparently, it has a firmer texture and a more pronounced flavor. And the video really emphasizes this meticulous approach. Ideally, each vegetable is cooked separately and seasoned individually with extra virgin olive oil and fragrant garlic before being combined and slowly simmered with fresh tomatoes or tomato sauce. That attention to each individual ingredient really stands out. This highlights the French appreciation for the individual character of each component in a dish.
It's fascinating how they deliberately try to preserve those
Yeah.
distinct flavors of each vegetable rather than just creating a homogeneous mush. And the low temperature cooking is key here. It allows the flavors to blend harmoniously without losing their individual identity.
Right. The blog post also mentions bouillabaisse, that legendary seafood stew from Marseille, full of different fish and shellfish, fragrant tomatoes, saffron, and garlic. It's traditionally served with that interesting garlic and cayenne mayonnaise called rouille, which adds a spicy, flavorful kick. They spread it on grilled bread or crusty croutons. It really sounds like a celebration of the Mediterranean Sea.
It definitely is. And the blog even points out how in Marseille they serve it in two courses. First, you get the intensely flavorful broth with the rouille, and then you get the succulent seafood itself. They specifically mention using distinct Mediterranean fish like the rockfish or brascasse and gurnard or galinette. So it's much more than just a simple fish soup. It's a whole ritual.
And then there's cassoulet, that wonderfully hearty bean stew from the Southwest, packed with tender white beans, rich duck confit, flavorful pork sausage, all slow cooked to get those incredibly deep and satisfying flavors. Perfect for those cooler evenings, I imagine.
Absolutely. And the blog even mentions that Le Gentil Magret in Toulouse was crowned the 2023 world champion at Cassoulet in Toulouse, which really underscores its regional importance and that passionate dedication to perfecting this iconic dish.
And let's not forget confit de canard, those duck legs that are slowly cooked in their own rendered fat until they're meltingly tender. That sounds incredibly rich and decadent. They often serve it simply with roasted potatoes or earthy lentils, a real Gascony specialty. That slow cooking in fat is a classic French technique, not just for flavor, but also for preservation.
You're right. That gentle cooking process not only intensifies the flavor of the duck, but it also results in incredibly moist and tender meat.
We can't leave out fougasse, that beautiful traditional Provençal bread shaped like a leaf, often with flavorful additions like olives, fragrant herbs, or rich cheese. It looks as delightful as it must taste, when you say.
Yeah, it's a fantastic accompaniment to any meal, and the different flavor combinations make it incredibly versatile.
And finally, salade niçoise, the quintessential salad from Nice. It's a colorful mix of ripe tomatoes, crisp green beans, perfectly boiled eggs, flaky tuna, or you can use briny anchovies, Kalamata olives, and sometimes tender potatoes, all dressed simply with a drizzle of good olive oil and a squeeze of fresh lemon juice or a light vinaigrette. The blog even suggests grilling fresh tuna to really elevate the flavor. This salad really embodies those fresh, vibrant ingredients of the region.
It's a dish that truly captures those bright, fresh flavors of the region, and yeah, adding grilled tuna turns it from a simple salad into a more substantial and flavorful meal.
Okay, let's talk about what really makes these southern French dishes sing, the essential ingredients and the techniques that bring them to life. The blog post rightly highlights herbe de Provence as absolutely key. It's that aromatic blend of thyme, rosemary, basil, and marjoram. It's like the very essence of those sun-drenched hillsides, all captured in one blend.
It really is the signature aromatic fingerprint in so many dishes, complementing both savory meats and vibrant vegetables.
And then there's the mention of the prized black Perigord truffles, these incredibly fragrant and yes, expensive fungi that are used to give this unforgettable earthy richness to dishes like simple omelets. It's definitely a touch of luxury. What's so fascinating is their rarity and that intense aroma. Even a small shaving can dramatically elevate a dish.
Exactly. And the blog mentions that they do command a high price and that they're particularly found in the markets of Toulouse around Christmas time, which highlights their seasonal and regional significance.
Of course, olive oil and olives are fundamental with local local markets boasting this impressive variety and ancient olive groves yielding those top quality oils. It's the liquid gold of the Mediterranean, isn't it? They're not just used for cooking; they're a significant flavor component in themselves, like we see in tapenades and dressings.
They really are foundational.
Yeah.
And the well-documented health benefits of olive oil further underscore its importance in the broader Mediterranean diet.
And we can't forget the abundance of Mediterranean seafood. Think succulent sea bass, flavorful red mullet, those briny anchovies. They form the heart of dishes, like the iconic Bouillabaisse. Even mention of oysters from Aquitaine and Languedoc-Roussillon reminds us of the coastal richness. The freshness and variety of the seafood are absolutely central to the cuisine along the coast.
Absolutely. And France's prominent position as a major oyster producer really emphasizes the significance of seafood in its culinary landscape.
Now, when we look at techniques, slow cooking emerges as a real star, particularly in dishes like dal Provençal, that deeply flavorful beef stew simmered in red wine and with a touch of anchovy paste to add this unexpected depth. That extended cooking time allows the flavors to really meld together, creating this richness that you just can't rush.
Right, that gentle, prolonged cooking process allows tougher cuts of meat to become incredibly tender, and those various flavors to meld into a harmonious whole.
And then there's baking, essential for creating that wonderful crust on fougasse, which is often studded with olives or anchovies, and for salka, that unique chickpea flour pancake that's traditionally cooked in wood-fired ovens, giving it a lovely crispy exterior and a soft, almost creamy interior. These traditional baking methods impart unique textures and those subtle smoky notes that are so characteristic of the region.
For sure, those time-honored baking techniques contribute not only to the texture, but also to the distinctive flavor profiles of these regional specialties.
Even grilling plays a significant role, like we see with the tuna and vegetables in salade niçoise. It adds that delightful smoky char and intensifies their natural sweetness. It's another way to showcase those fresh, high-quality ingredients while adding another layer of flavor.
Exactly. Grilling is a great way to highlight the inherent flavors of the ingredients while adding that appealing smoky dimension.
It's always fascinating to see how culinary traditions can vary even within a relatively small area like the south of France. The blog post does a great job of breaking down some of these regional nuances.
Yeah, Provence's is particularly known for aioli, that potent garlic mayonnaise that goes with everything from fresh raw vegetables to grilled fashion. Of course, pasties, that distinctive anise-flavored spirit that's so ingrained in the Provençal lifestyle.
And Languedoc-Roussillon offers tiel cetois, that spicy and savory seafood pie, typically filled with tender octopus or squid and flavorful tomatoes, in addition to their own regional version of pissolatière, those miniature pizzas topped with anchovy paste and sweet onions.
Yeah.
These regional specialties really highlight the incredible diversity within Southern French cuisine.
Absolutely. They really showcase how local ingredients and long-standing historical influences shape distinct culinary identities, even within close proximity.
And the Côte d'Azur features pan bagnat, that wonderfully messy but incredibly satisfying crusty bread roll filled with all the delicious components of a salade niçoise, a perfect portable lunch for a day by the sea, and again that distinctive soca, which further emphasizes the chickpea flour's popularity in this area. It's interesting how certain dishes pop up in slightly different forms across these regions.
It is. It underscores that idea that while there are common threads, each area proudly maintains its own unique culinary signatures.
Okay, for those of us who are feeling inspired to bring some of these incredible Southern French flavors into our own kitchens, the French Cooking Academy video on beginner tips offers some really invaluable insights, and they go way beyond just French cooking techniques.
For sure. Their advice on seasoning is spot on. Always add salt and pepper towards the end of the cooking process because, many ingredients naturally contain salt. And remember, it's always easier to add more than to take away, so start with less. They also recommend experimenting with with different types of salt. Flakes for a delicate crunch, rock salt for a more intense burst of flavor, and for those delicate white sauces, white pepper helps keep that pristine color. For our listeners, this is a good reminder to be mindful of seasoning throughout the cooking process, not just at the end.
And their advice on exploring different oils and vinegars is fantastic. Moving beyond basic vegetable oil and discovering the unique nuances of peanut oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, walnut oil, avocado oil for both cooking and dressings can really transform your dishes. And playing with flavored vinegars like those infused with tarragon or shallots can elevate even the simplest of salads. It's a great tip for adding depth and complexity without a lot of effort.
Right. And in classic French cooking, understanding the fat content of your dairy is crucial. Cream with a fat content of 32-35% is essential for getting those luxurious sauces and statal whipped cream. And similarly, using butter with a higher fat content, around 85%, is key for making a proper roux, the foundation for so many classic sauces. This attention to detail in ingredient selection really makes a difference in the final outcome. This focus on fat content is exactly why sauces in rich dishes like a traditional bouillabaisse broth achieve that wonderfully velvety texture.
And going beyond just standard cooking wine to explore those richer flavors of Madeira wine, port wine, and dry white vermouth for deglazing pans and adding depth to your sauces, especially when you're working with fish and cream, that really opens up a whole new world of flavor possibilities. It's not just for drinking.
It really does. They add this wonderful layer of complexity and richness that elevates simple pan sauces to something truly special.
I completely agree with their advice on the transformative power of fresh herbs. Even just growing a few basic herbs like coriander, basil, and parsley indoors can make a huge difference in the vibrancy of your cooking. The host's enthusiasm for his little kitchen herb garden is contagious.
It really underscores that principle that fresh, high-quality ingredients are at the heart of great flavor.
Even something as simple as potato selection matters. Understanding the differences between waxy potatoes, which hold their shape when cooked, and starchy potatoes, which become light and fluffy, allows you to choose the right potato for the specific dish you're making. It's about selecting the right tool for the culinary task.
Absolutely. The texture and flavor profiles of different potato varieties can really affect the final result of your dish.
The tips on investing in basic but quality cookware and knives are so practical for beginners. A good medium range cookware set and a comfortable basic knife set, including a chef's knife, bread knife, paring knife, and utility knife from reputable brands that are often used in culinary schools, like Mercer Culinary is a great way to start without being overwhelmed by all the options and those high prices. And the focus on ergonomics is so important for safety and just enjoying your time in the kitchen.
Absolutely. Comfortable and well-maintained knives make a big difference in your cooking experience. And the advice to avoid getting stuck in endless brand comparisons when you're first starting out is very sound.
Yeah, I especially appreciate the emphasis on mastering fundamental techniques rather than immediately jumping into complex multi-step recipes. Learning to make everyday staples from scratch, like a classic French vinaigrette, creamy homemade mayonnaise, flaky short crust pastry, or even your own butter builds a solid foundation of skills and confidence in the kitchen.
It's about developing a strong understanding of those building blocks of cooking and how different ingredients interact.
And not underestimating even those seemingly simple techniques like the paner à l'anglaise, that classic 3-step breading process, flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. It's a fundamental technique that adds both delicious texture and a protective crust to so many dishes in French cuisine and beyond.
Yeah, those seemingly basic techniques are the foundation for so many more complex dishes.
Finally, the recommendation for essential kitchen tools to really level up your cooking. Invest in a good kitchen scale for accurate measurements, a reliable food and oven thermometer for precise cooking temperatures, and a simple electronic timer to avoid those dreaded overcooked or undercooked disasters. These small investments can lead to surprisingly big improvements in your cooking results. They take the guesswork out of it and help you get more consistent results.
Right, and the transformative power of homemade stock really can't be overstated. Using it instead of a plain water in your soups and sauces dramatically enhances the depth and complexity of flavor.
Yeah.
Even the seemingly small tip about using bay leaf sparingly in stock is crucial. Sometimes less really is more.
And the final, often overlooked point about water quality is so important. Using filtered or good quality mineral water, especially for stocks and delicate soups, can prevent any off flavors from tap water from affecting your final dish. It really highlights that every single ingredient, even something as basic as water, plays a role in the overall flavor profile.
It does. Paying attention to those seemingly minor details is often what separates good cooking from truly exceptional cooking.
Now, if all this talk of delicious food has you dreaming of a trip to the south of France, the blog post gives us some fantastic recommendations for experiencing authentic Southern French cuisine firsthand. They highlight some incredible restaurants in Marseille, Nice, and Toulouse, ranging from Michelin-starred establishments to more traditional and charming bistros.
It's a great starting point for anyone planning a culinary adventure. They specifically mention renowned places for savoring authentic Bouillabaisse in Marseille, classic Provençal dishes in Nice, and that award-winning Cassoulet in Toulouse.
And for a truly immersive experience, the blog also recommends visiting those vibrant local markets like the Marché Victor Hugo in Toulouse for those coveted truffles, the colorful Cours Solea market in Nice for local olives and olive oil, and La Ha de la Madeleine in Marseille for the freshest seafood and all the essential ingredients for making your own cassoulet. These markets are a feast for the senses.
Visiting those bustling markets is an incredible way to connect with local producers and really immerse yourself in the vibrant food culture of the region.
And they even mention some fantastic food festivals that you might want to time your visit around, like the sweet Montélimar Nougat Fair, the fragrant Fête de la Lavande in Provence, celebrating lavender, the Olive Festival in Nyon, and even a seafood extravaganza held at Court Cross National Park. They sound like amazing opportunities to sample regional specialties and celebrate local ingredients in a festive atmosphere.
They do. Food festivals offer a concentrated and joyous taste of the region's rich culinary heritage and traditions.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this captivating flavors of the south of France, let's just circle back to some of the key insights we've uncovered from the sunny shores of Nice with its uniquely flavorful pisciladière and vibrant ratatouille, to the comforting richness of cassoulet and languedoc, and those exquisite aromas infused by herbe de Provence, and the fundamental importance of high quality olive oil. This region offers a truly diverse and unforgettable culinary landscape.
And it's been fascinating to see how even those familiar dishes like burgers and pizza are transformed and elevated through the use of exceptional local ingredients and those distinctive French culinary techniques, resulting in something truly special. And the simple yet profound cooking principles that we've explored, those little nuggets of wisdom from the French Cooking Academy offer practical ways for you to elevate your own cooking, no matter where you are in the world.
And for you, the learner, we sincerely hope this deep dive has given you those sought after aha moments and a clear and engaging understanding of Southern French cuisine without ever feeling overwhelming. We aim to distill the essence and highlight those connections just for you.
And finally, here's a thought to take with you as you plan your next meal. Think about how the seemingly simple act of intentionally seeking out high quality, locally sourced ingredients wherever your local happens to be could fundamentally transform your everyday cooking. Echoing those vibrant and authentic flavors that we've explored today in the south of France. What may be underappreciated ingredient, right, in your own region deserves a starring role in your next culinary creation. That's something to savor and explore in your own kitchen.